A trip to Tampa that not too many predicted.
First playoff game for the Commanders. Do they get the win or what?
We came all the way from Virginia, 12-hour drive. We get this win.
Where the season began is where it could have ended. But not in this story. Washington makes the most of its return to the postseason with yet another incredible win. Is it magic? No, it's just these Commanders.
You said, what does it take? New vision, new owner with a strategy, picking the right people. First, our coach, Coach Quinn, Adam Peters, and then we all step out the way and let them do their job.
What to make of Sunday's instant classic at Tampa? And looking ahead to the Lions. On this Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus.
Talent, culture, and people, man.
There it is.
Talent, culture, and people.
So that's it. Don't make this about us. It's about those guys.
Yeah.
So let me hear a cheer. Give me some emotion.
The Washington Redskins have lost 3 tough games in the last 3 weeks. Some feel it's because of officiating. Some feel it's coaching. But I know one thing, if this team is going to the playoffs.
Each and every player
needs to take a look at the man in the mirror. We'll be right back.
What's up?
For the first time in 5 years, I can say, welcome to the playoff edition of Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. We haven't done that in a while. And you know, we say then, what's up next? What's up next? They are halfway there. And a few weeks ago, we were saying, is this an 8-5 team or a 5-8 team? I think they've answered our question. So what I do, I go back and bring back some old comrades. Each and every one of these individuals was with me during the Super Bowl time, so we can kick around. Donna Hopkins back in the house. I know she was doing a lot of reporting there. Do you know that the sister would not even speak to her brother when he was out there in the locker room and stuff?
I see you can't tell the truth still, Tony.
Then I brought back Solomon at home, so you know I had the big fella and I was teaching him the ropes and the roles of it. My son Solomon. The one person I got here that me and him we had some profound conversation. I always said what we were going to do with the money when we went to the playoff. Doc, tell them about it. Every playoff game was something new in the house.
Well, that patio room, that game room, that TV room, widescreen room, that money was that's what we were playing for. We were playing to get paid. And now, but these guys have spirit. That's why I like this team, because they play hungry.
And you know what? You say that, and there's one thing about it. We said last week that this team may not have had the natural talent that was shown with these other players that they've gotten rid of in the beginning of the year. But this team plays hard, and they play their positions good. They're not spectacular, but they get the job done. And I'm going to just ask you, Big Zo, is that something this team needs? And how far do you think this team can go in the playoffs?
Key word you said, Dad, is they get the job done. It hasn't been the best of games this year. And like I said, a little bit of luck always falls our way. But the thing about luck, like I've learned when you are gambling on the gamble table, once you do hit that first good number, you keep getting lucky, then skill comes in. So the luck gets us there. So like I said, when we got the fumble from the quarterback, when he hit the receiver and put it right back in the red zone, that's the luck part. But then the skills comes in. You can't put it in J5's hand that close or he's going to get you back. So I really feel like this year has been, like we said, a growing year, but we've also been able to compete, and now we're there. So now it's just now the next thing is to just see how far we can go.
Now, Donna, is it all the offensive? Is it really our quarterback is the main spoon that stirs everything, or have this offense started to grow together? And that's what's very important. And as we do this, I got some other calls that I didn't like. That I mean, you don't go for fourth down every time when you're only 4 points behind. And I didn't like that. But tell me about this offense.
Hey, Tony, before I tell you about this offense, let's go and hear from Magic Johnson. You know, he was there at the game. And I mean, it was huge. It was energy there. It was excitement there. But Magic Johnson said that it wasn't about him. It was about all of those guys in the locker room who have put in the time to get this winning. So he talked about the winning formula for this team. So let's go there before I answer your question.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate you.
Okay, and enjoy it.
For sure. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Again, that's what it's about. And so please don't make this about me. It's about Terry, it's about Jaden, it's about Bobby, Sam, on and on and on. Don't make this about me.
So after years of frustration with a different ownership group, a lot of Washington fans were wondering if this day would ever come again. What does it take to put a winning culture into a locker room, into a team? You've certainly been there. You've certainly done that. What does it take to do it?
I want you wanted to answer?
No.
This man right here. No, this is serious. You said, what does it take? New vision, new owner with a strategy, picking the right people. First, our coach, Coach Quinn, Adam Peters, and then we all step out the way and let them do their job.
Talent, culture, and people, man.
There it is.
Talent, culture, and people.
So that's it. Don't make this about us. It's about those guys.
Yeah, well,
Matt, did you envision it happening this fast? 2 years?
Quarterback.
How could you?
Got to get a quarterback.
We'll see you guys in Detroit. It's going to be cool.
Make it about those guys.
I tell you what, Detroit is the kind of place that they better not go their ass stepping either. So you know a little bit about Detroit. You born in Chicago, they can be tough.
Well, you know, my thing is, first of all, I got to give a shout out to all my good old 3-1 people. Ian, Terry T. Hobbs, Rod Wells, all them good people. But we there. I did come up there to Eastern Michigan and came up out of there as a student athlete. So the DMV can survive in Michigan. I did it for 3 years. Big ups to Earl Boykins, too. So at the end of the day, I'm feeling good about this matchup, Pops. Now, mind you, I know Detroit is getting a lot of their healthy people back, but so did we. And that's another thing I feel like is we got healthier this last game, too, and I didn't see too many people get hurt. So I'm feeling real good about this matchup. What do you think, Uncle Doc?
I'm with you. They have got to respect this young man at quarterback. Their defense has been decimated, but they've been coached up. You got to love the Lions' roar. And we might be mini-me in this case, but unlike Minnesota, who fell apart, that's not going to happen. And I think they realize that. What we got to do is get the running game going, because that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And you're not going to go up in there with this version of whatever the hell they're calling it. That's not going to hunt, man. That they have got to get that going. And I hope and will pray all week that some way Rodriguez is in a uniform and available for action.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Rick, you're exactly right, because the running game only netted 82 yards last week. Struggled in the first half. Jaden picked up 30 some of those yards, and they constantly talk about how can we get this running game going. But when Eckler was in the second half, you saw that offense starting to click as far as the running game. So they've got to figure out, hey, when do we put B-Rob in? When do we really utilize some of those other guys, like you said, the Rodriguez, as far as Jeremy McNichols, and then also Austin Eckler adds so much to your team in that backfield because he's such a slicer. He can catch the ball out the backfield. And Tony, you talked about, to me, as far as this offense works around Jayden Daniels because Terry McLaurin and also De'Ami Brown, as far as
played his butt off.
all of
Played
those
his butt
guys
off.
have started to pick it up a little bit because De'Ami Brown made some big catches. That big third down catch that was 3 and 6. I think he picked up 20 some yards there. And so the receivers, we talked about who's going to step up and start to play. Well, all of those receivers, Jamison Crowder, De'Ami Brown, Terry was already making plays, Alameda, those guys are starting to make some noise and people have to take attention. But Tony, before we go around, because Gary Clark has joined us now.
Everybody, Baldy, you need get down.
Yeah, but before Tony, before you bring Gary,
is he in the house?
He's in the house, but before you bring him into the picture, we're going to go into the locker room to hear from the offensive side of the ball and a little bit of special teams because they know that field goal hit the top of the thing and bounced in by. And we talk about luck. I'm telling you, they got the 4-leaf clover, they got the rabbit foot, they got the lucky horseshoe, they got all of those things. So let's go to the locker room.
I mean, I was front and center, so I made my block, looked up, doink, went in, saw the net, swish. So I'll take it.
I've never been a part of a bank shot that mattered that much. So that is, yeah. Because it came off his foot and we're like, oh, we're good. It might sneak in. And then it was like, oh, it's got a bing. Oh, all right, we're good. So, yeah.
Hey, Tress, on to the second round of the playoffs. Just talk about what that means to you particularly and this team.
Yeah, I think going to play such a tough team in a tough city like Detroit, it's going to be an awesome week of practice of just like Coach does an awesome job of every single week of bringing it back to it's about us. It's about the way we're going to fight, how it's going to go, throwing punches, taking punches, counter punches. And so there is a very refreshing feeling. Coach told us in a team meeting, he's like, you guys here to the Super Bowl, you don't have to plan anything out. And he showed us the schedule. He goes, I've got it all mapped out. He goes, you just show up and you do what you got to do and we'll be ready to roll.
Get this big win today. This team fought back again, 5th time in a row that you all have pulled it out in the end. On to Detroit. Just talk about the feeling of getting this win and moving on.
It's amazing. It's my first one. So the last time I played Tampa 2020, we saw I remember how that one went. So to just come down here and get the win is big time. It's kind of full circle moment.
Hey, but just talk about again this fight in this team over and over again.
I got a chance to talk to some of the guys after the game, and they were just like, "Man, y'all a tough ass team." And I mean, that's just the epitome of who we are, right? Like we become comfortable in uncomfortable moments where a lot of people get tense. We've just learned to put up or shut up, and that's kind of the identity of this group here. Is just you're never out of the fight.
Whew, Tyler. This team once again fought back at the end of the game and took this game. Talk about just winning this first playoff game and moving on to Detroit.
Yeah, obviously, comes down to situational football at the end. Big drive to end the game, and our defense getting a stop like that. Props to our defense of getting that and how they played today. But yeah, I mean, just situational football going down to execution. It always comes down to it. And in the game-winning moments, it was our time. And that's how it went down.
Talk a little bit about this fight over and over and over again with this team.
Resilient, just resilient. How we fight and how we're always leveling up each and every week. That's what comes to my mind, just the resiliency and how we just have that dog-ass competitor in us.
How special is this team?
It's very special, 100%, special all around.
Hey, Tony, having him back, having Tyler Biotish back as that center helped that offensive line out a lot.
Yeah, but you know what I see on that other side of the ball too many times, them getting pushed back as well. You can't have that in the playoffs. I'm not saying anything against them. They have come together as a group, but they're going to have to come together on the tough plays. Look at Philadelphia. Everyone knows when they get 4th down and 1, they're going for it. Look at Detroit. They're going against a team in Detroit that has found themselves. They had about 10 to 12 injuries earlier in this year, and they've come back to play. What is also important about this team right now is they're not all playing great individually, but they're playing great collectively. And when you can do that, that's when you start talking about Super Bowl teams. Never heard anybody talk about just a Super Bowl player won everything. I remember when Washington was playing Denver and everybody was saying, Elway, Elway. Gary and them ran Elway up out of that park because you know what? They were a team, and he was one man. When we come back and talk about being one man, I'm here fighting for my life, trying to do everything I can to keep Doc Walker from telling us something wrong. But I'm bringing him in. I got to bring him in the next time. All right, put the kids to bed, and we'll be back in a moment.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Frosted Flakes good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya. They're great.
Crystal City Sports Pub, located in the heart of National Landing, is ranked one of the top 20 sports bars in the country. We are open 365 days a year. Crystal City Sports Pub, with its laid-back atmosphere, is the place to be. We offer 3 levels, over 100 TVs, an 18-foot video wall, pool tables, 3 full bars featuring 11 beers on tap, an extensive menu, and super friendly staff. We offer on- and off-site catering and ample space to host private parties and gatherings. Come experience Crystal City Sports Pub. It is the place to be.
Hold that point, Gary. As we were just talking about, with the Washington Redskins winning, they still have a chance for the playoff. So our points for today will be what we think they should do to maintain that chance. Pass rush, got to have that, you know that. That's always big. Run the ball, eliminate all turnovers. As you guys all know, if they do not do this, their aspirations of the playoffs will disappear. We'll be back in a moment.
Right now. I'm going to tell you what, you fans are probably very happy about what's transpiring with the Washington team, but the former players, we are happy. We've had to watch a bunch of crap for so many years and not seen this team play that they were up to, bringing number 1 draft choices and really a number 5 draft choices. Make things harder than they have to be. A good coach, don't listen to them. So you know what? Right now, we finally got it together. But it was a couple of calls in that game on Sunday that kind of mesmerized me. And I'm going to ask you first, G. As the wide receivers, I'm going to ask you this question because it seems as though they really did win that game for us the other day. I saw them making catches, and these were spectacular catches, and we needed them at the time. Now, Rick, I'm going to ask you on the other side of the ball, it was a couple of fourth downs that you go for. When you can score 3 points and stay within 1 score, do you not think it would be feasible to try to do that and score those points? Let's go to Gary first and then to you, Rick.
Yeah, I think the receivers did a great job. Brown was on point. Terry's always on point. They made the plays when they had to make the plays. Going for it in the red zone, 4th down. It's wrong until it's right. I don't know what Doc's going to say, but it's wrong until it's right. So, they messed up twice, but then they scored 7 points. Would have been 2 field goals, been 6 points. So it kind of They're one ahead. So, I mean, as a receiver, I probably would have wanted to go for it. And I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying we're just kind of built in that way. We're kind of built to the game that way. But as a coach, you probably look at it a lot differently. So I'm gonna let Doc say. Doc's the master. So I'm gonna turn that over to Doc right now.
Oh, he's the master.
Clark. He's good, Clark.
Yeah, this is all you got. Doc's the master. Oh man, what this must be? This must be elementary football something.
We were all together watching this, and we were guys that were in that locker room on our team. And all kidding aside, the pressure that you guys, your front four, put on people, we never had to worry because the other quarterback never had time. We don't have that kind of deal. So I'm all for us, like the Lions, being aggressive with our strong suit, which is JD5.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather have him with the ball in his hands than Baker Mayfield with the ball in his hands. So I think, strength on strength, and it proved to be true because I just think that De'Ami Brown and Crowder, Zacchaeus, they're just not getting their flowers. These dudes are competing. They just need a shot. Ertz has stepped up like a big-time baller. So if we get the protection, Five's going to find a way. And I just believe that road team, put your foot on the pedal. I'm with my man up in Detroit. Make your boys believe that you just charging always. Keep charging.
And Tony, also, Coach Quinn said that they are aggressive, but not reckless. So this is something that he's been doing all year long. So it's nothing new. And they've pretty much been 100% with getting those fourth downs. And I was almost agreeing with you about that 4th and 2 to start the game because it's the playoffs. It's just one and done and you go home. But because this team has done this all year long, and he's built this team to be aggressive, and they are a fighting team, as they say, never out of the fight. I'm okay with them going for that because they were 3 of 5 on Sunday on that 4th down. But for the most part, all season long, if you look at it, they've gotten that, Tony. But I want to go, before you pass it around again and everything, this defense played really much better than they have in the past weeks. They only gave up 101 yards on the ground. They, Bucky Irvins was one of the top running backs. He a rookie running back with over 1,000 yards on the season. So for them to contain him for the most part in that game, and then this week it gets no better because they've got David Montgomery coming back from a knee injury, and they already got Gibbs. So they got 1-2 punch to have to deal with this week against Detroit, who's getting healthy also. But before we dive into the defense a little bit more, let's go to the defense to hear that side of the ball.
2 years in, how satisfied is this for you to get this playoff win and moving on to Detroit?
Never satisfied, man. It's always more, always a little more to go, a little more in the tank, and just things to correct, get better at, and just keep pushing.
How special is this team?
Very special, man. It's great just to see, from OTAs to now just what we've, been able to accomplish. And just the brotherhood, man, and, just everything that went into it and just allowed us to be here in this moment.
What are you feeling right now?
Man, I feel so excited, for this team just to be able to get their first win in a long time in the playoffs. Man, like in the playoffs in the last, towards the end of the season, every game's not going to be easy. And you're going to have to claw your way out of it, and you got to be mentally tough. And I think our team showed that this week. I'm just excited, man. We're going to the next round.
Would you say this team is pretty special?
Yeah, team is really special. We got a lot of guys that was counted out. We got a lot of guys that AP and DQ did a great job of drafting. That's going to be the future of this league. So, man, it's just cool to see how we all came together and gelled together, worked together as one, and now we're reaping the benefits.
See, I just heard now with your teammates messing with you how fun it is to play on this team.
Yeah. Oh, it's major. It's major. I think that's something that,
adds to the fire. When you enjoy coming into work every day with a group of guys who, when we came into the season, everybody's expectations for us was down here. And for us, we just blocked out all the noise, and now we can kind of write our own history, so that's major.
Better watch out for the Commanders, right?
You know it.
The way everything's been going. We train for these moments. We've been in these moments all season, it feels like, and it was just another game.
Hey, John, talk a little bit about this constant fight in this team over and over again, coming out swinging, and this big win that they come away with and on to Detroit.
I think it's about the culture. I think guys throw that word around a lot, but when you see how our games have played out and, the resilience we have as a team, I think it really just points to the culture and the brotherhood that we have here.
We talked about, taking it the distance and, get the ice bags ready because there's going to be that fight. And, we fought all the way until we kicked that last field goal in. So, just props to the whole team and the guys and everybody just, locking in that four minute of the game. And, ain't nobody do it better than our offense when it comes down to our 2 minutes. So, JD going to do what he do. And, just it's simple. Just guys doing their jobs, man. It's not that hard, but, it's a hard task to do, but it's very simple, you know what I mean? So I'm just super excited, man, to, just keep this thing going, this train going.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I look at this whole thing, and I look at the running game is really the key to me right now. As you look at these playoffs, you can look at the teams that they're talking a lot about. Let's look right up there. Let's look right down the street with the Ravens. Everybody is so afraid of the running game. They had that here for a while. What has happened to me, it has disappeared. It feels like Brian is more afraid of fumbling or somebody knocking the ball out right now than he is about running. It looked like these three runners are set for 3 times. At the beginning of the game, when nobody knows where you're going and it's all up in the air, put Mr. Robinson in there. Number 2, when you got somebody and you want to go either way or back and forth, he can catch, he can run, he can do it. Number 3, when you get Hernandez in and you get a guy that can run, and he can really run. The problem with that is we can't have them all at the same time, but each of their skills are needed. So, Simon, when you look at that, what can they do to improve this running game? More counter plays like we used to run when we were the Washington Redskins. What can they do?
Well, the first thing they can do is not let the quarterback lead the team in rushing, opposed to when you do have 3 backs. And, Pops, I just don't know at this point. I mean, the biggest thing we need to look at and the takeaway I'm taking away from this game is we know what Robinson's going to give us and we know what Eckler's going to give us. So I feel like right now they're just playing them all in situational football. So when they feel like they need a different kind of run, they bring Eckler in. But then sometimes when they feel like they need power, they bring Robinson or Rodriguez in. So I feel like that's like what it's going to have to be until we address this next year. And I hate to say it, we need to probably get another back. I mean, you don't want to put it out there like that, but we did draft Robinson to be like a Saquon Barkley and a Derek, and he's not doing that. He gets hit. Once you hit him, he's down. So, but right now, I like what we're doing where they just rotating them in, Pops, and that's why I feel like we just got to keep that formula going and, see how far we can go with it.
Tell Mr. Rodriguez I know I shouldn't have called him Hernandez, but I like the way he run the ball anyway. But if you take a look at this whole situation, does this team, Donna, really have a chance to go all the way?
Hey, Tony, they definitely do. And for anybody to think that this Commanders team does not have a chance, then all they have to do is look at them throughout this year, 13-5 on the year right now. This is the first time in 19 years that this team has been in the playoffs. And it's because of the formula of what Adam Peters has put together as far as Dan Quinn, Tony. And you said that he was the right coach for this team. And he has gradually built confidence in this team for them to believe that they can go up against anybody. I know that they've got a tall task ahead of them playing the Detroit Lions. The Lions have had rest and they're ready to go. They got bodies back. But as Solomon said earlier, the Commanders have gotten healthy too. But we talked about this last week. This game is won in the trenches, up front, offensive line, defensive line, doing their jobs because everybody else around them. If it's up front, if they do their jobs, and everybody else can do their jobs. But you know that just like Tampa Bay, they brought that blitz over and over again, but the Commanders stood up and you know, they went toe to toe after a while. But you got Detroit, who, Tony, you said has lost 13 or 14 people, but they're getting one of their linebackers back. They're getting some other people back, but it doesn't matter. As the Commanders keep telling me, it doesn't matter about the other teams. It's a matter about what they're doing. If they do their jobs, Tony, then you don't have to worry about anybody else. If they block, if they don't make mistakes, if they don't turn over the ball and all of those things, because we know that Jayden Daniels is going to will this team into trying a victory. And if this team is close in the end, you bet not, as Terry said last week, if that ball is in our hands, you're not getting it back. And they did that. They did not get the ball back to win that game. It's the Commanders. For 4 minutes or so, the Commanders held that ball and drove it down to get the field goal. Now, it may have been ugly, but you know what? I'll take ugly W's anytime.
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right about that. And what I like about it was the grit. And what I like about it was the not giving it up. And what I like about it is they played as a team. And we've already indicated it's not as great a talent as maybe some of the Super Bowl teams, but they got Super Bowl hearts. And that's what's more important than anything. When you look at these two teams and you look around the league, like I said, the only reason that I brought up the running, ladies and gentlemen, is that's going to be so important and paramount in these games coming forth in cold weather and in this time. So we look at every aspect. But one thing we want you to know, not on this show, we're not just coming here to really just talk about these Washington players or say what they can't do. We're coming here to show you what we did to get where they want to go. And the thing we look at, the Hogs are always there. And see, Rick was part of both. The fun bunch was there when we need receivers. Defensive line knew how to get to the quarterback. Quarterback knew that if he got to hard rushing, dash to the outside. So when you look at this, these are the qualities we got to see in this team. As going forward in the next segment, we got to talk about the special teams because Sunday they made as many big plays as anyone else. And when you start seeing every facet of your team, I mean, we had nerve that Rick Walker caught 5 passes. Oh, I can't believe that. We'll be back in a moment.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50 some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Frosted Flakes good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya.
They're great.
On all the Super Bowl teams, you're going to have some players that not only play their position well, but they also are there when you need that extra push, when you need that special teams. On Sunday, I saw some of the best special teams play that I've seen here in the Washington area in a few years. G-Man, I always remember, because that was my first year of I think, one of my first years starting this show when you were coming in. And I remember you were a wide receiver, and you said, I'm going to have to play wide receiver because you were looking at our return man, which everybody know who Mike Nims was, and you said, maybe I might have to change my game. But you knew how important that position is to the team. And right now, that is a very important team, important to this team because we need to get production from them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If you can pick up an extra 3 points, 6 points because your special teams make a great return or make a great stop, cause a fumble. I mean, it truly is, you need all segments of the game. You need offense, defense, and special teams. And our special teams, hopefully they'll help us win a game against Detroit. I mean, I'm hoping that they do. They'll come up with a special play that's a game changer. And that's what special teams typically is. It's a game changer when they play correctly. And they're going to need to, because our defense is suspect.
Hold on, G. You know, hold on, Pops. I got it. This is where the school teacher comes in. Now, G has taught us on many shows if we could score as an offense, if we could score 20 and hold the other team, we could win. Let's give it up, G. We held it. Now, they got us with we kept 17 points from them this time to give us the victory, because we pretty much scored the same amount of points that we scored before, just 3 more. What we did this time is we minus them 17. So come on, Mr. Clark, just get them a pinch of credit.
Right. You don't let a team score 7 points when there's a minute and 50 seconds left in the first half, and it changes all momentum. All momentum was going great. I mean, that's my point. And when I see players jogging at the end of a play, that drives me crazy. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to talk about the type of players.
I'm not going to mention any names, but you see players your star players that have the nerve to jog where they can still make a play.
94.
Excuse me. That sets me off. I mean, you wouldn't want to sit beside me when I was watching the game, because that's just I don't understand that. You play until the play is over. You learn that as a kid. You go until the play is over, period. When I see a player jogging and the play's not dead yet, come on now.
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
Were you speaking?
Don't worry about that.
Were you
I saw that.
bad language?
I saw that.
Oh man!
You know what? You're right. We didn't have to worry about that, because if they saw us jogging on the film, the next one us be jogging out the door.
You be jogging too.
No,
I totally agree with G-Man. I agree with G-Man.
Our defense never did anything like that. They played to the end of to the whistle blew. That's just
no
just
matter
what.
what.
It's
he's
really
totally
simple.
right.
You're
Totally right. I can't defend that point. Now, hold on. I can defend the point of we held them. We got them 17 points down, but it is too much laziness all across the board. He's right with his defensive situation. I've seen them, and I guess I have seen you run people down, Pops, where if they can't get a sack or they get put out of the play, they're just jogging, like he's saying, not even trying to hustle to get to the player. So I give it up to the G-Man on that. It's a lot of laziness.
Defense alignment like your father running 20 to 30 yards down the field to still make a play.
Right.
That's when you win football games. When you got an offensive lineman who's blocking 20 yards down the field, like Ed Simmons, 20, 30 yards down the field. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm catching a pass and he's picking up a block for me. I'm 20 yards down the field.
Yeah.
That's what
makes the kid in Dallas
play
so
to the
good.
end of the whistle. I mean, it's just that simple. And now that we're in the playoffs, it has to be that way. You have to go to the next level because they're close now. They're so close now. Because they can definitely beat Detroit. They can beat Detroit.
Yeah, you're right. Now we're talking about what we see on other teams, and let's jump a little bit, because a lot of fans don't know. I'm gonna tell you what, is there any other team out there right now that's come back from nowhere that's got more talent than the Los Angeles Rams?
You like these Rams.
Novena. No, Novena. No, she's right.
It's
Let me
dangerous.
tell you something. Novena, I'm with you.
Wait a minute, Novena, make sure you spell Rams right next time.
No.
You
I'm
got
telling you
Ram
what,
out there.
that was a great point she made to give to Tony, because when you got a Super Bowl quarterback, now they lost the best defensive lineman in the world. He retires. They're getting after people. They drafted well.
Yeah.
They've got pressure. They can cover you. That was a great observation. She's on fire today, man. I'm telling you.
And I got it all written out too. But as you look around the league, are there any surprises? And I know everyone is kind of surprised.
Chargers getting their behinds smacked.
Yeah, no, I did. I thought they would do a lot better than they did.
I don't know why.
Well, why would you think they can't, Donna?
No, because you look, everybody discarded as far as the Texans, but basically they went in pretty much evenly because they were both inconsistent. But for Herbert to throw as many picks as he did, and also the Texans, they do have a pretty good quarterback, although he's been not his, I guess, his sophomore year great, but he did pretty good. But their defense stepped it up in the second half, because I thought for a minute that the Chargers was going to take off and dominate that game. But then the Texans came back because they were starting to get healthy too. I mean, they can run the ball. I mean, they got a good defense over there. So I thought that playing at home that they would have the edge, which they did, but I didn't expect them to dominate the way they did. But guess what? They got Kansas City next, and it won't be the same kind of picture that they had against the Chargers.
They're going to drop Kansas City like a bad habit.
It's going to happen, Tony. Keep talking that smack.
Hey, Pops, we didn't do that good this week, because you got to look. I think me and you picked the Chargers. I think we picked
5-0, Tony. You went 4-1. 5-0 right here.
Dominator. When did your mother pick?
Last time, like your Uncle Joe used to say,
she picked the Chargers with us, Unc.
I picked the Texans, so I said
I just charged
you. Hey, fans, as you can see, we got a little controversy here, but it's a couple of, you notice Rick Walker hadn't said anything when it comes to stats and everything. He's going to say, see, he just mad because Novena can't write his notes tonight either. So
I'm giving her credit. Yeah. You never give her props.
Right.
Hey, Rick, he doesn't like that. But Tony, before you talking about heated, let's go to and we're going to go around the league, Tony, as far as the other teams in the playoffs and so forth. But let me tell you, that sports bar challenge, Tony, is heating up, because it was some changing of the guards again this week, because somebody didn't believe that the Commanders was going to beat Tampa Bay. So they ended up taking a back seat and lost their top spot. And so, Tony, this week, leading the pack is Kellogg's. Well, no, you know what? Crystal City Restaurant.
Billy Bain.
Up there.
Yeah, Billy Bain.
Billy Bain.
Tony, Crystal City Restaurant dropped because they didn't take the Commanders, so they're at 22-8. But on Monday night, they're taking the Vikings. I think they got it right, because I think the Vikings are going to beat the Rams. And then Kellogg's is in second place. They moved up a little bit too. And on Monday night, they're taking the Vikings. So they're going to be good.
Y'all, that's my hometown people. They know what they're talking about. All they do is feed the world, but they still can pick games.
Hey, but they feed the world.
They feed the world. You ain't lying.
Their bowls full, Tony. And then the glory days. They are winning right now, but only by one game at 25-5, and they're picking the Rams. So I think that is going to change hands again, because I don't think the Rams is going to win that game. And then you've got Crystal City Pub at 22-8. They're taking the Rams too. That's going to be another L for them. But it's all close, Tony. So it's going to come down to the wire. And Still Familiar, they're moving up the ranks too, because they're at 19-7, and they're taking the Rams too. So it's 3 people taking the Rams and 2 taking the Vikings, Tony.
Always take the teacher over the student. McVay.
Hey, Rick. No, I don't think so. You don't take Tony. He's the teacher. So
no.
I'm
gonna be
Novena. No, I don't go against Novena.
Oh, okay. I got it wrong. Not Tony.
Yeah, well, Tony. Okay.
But you know what, though? If you think about it, though, that's how this playoffs is going right now. If you take a look at it, anybody can win it. But see, I noticed that all during that time, and we got to get out now, but when we come back, we got to, sooner or later, we got to talk about Philadelphia, and we got to talk about Kansas City. Some of us think they will repeat. Some of us think they will not. I want to find out why and where you think this team is going. But most and foremost, we need to give Washington their props. Because we've been negative at times, we've been good at times. But one thing, they came here and did things that people thought was astronomical, not out of the range of what they wanted to do. But now they're in the second game of the playoffs. So you know what? We got a group of people here who know what they're doing, other than a couple that I have on the set. Doc Walker's first. We'll be back. in a minute.
Frosted Flakes good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya.
They're great.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50 some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Speakers Bureau offers you various opportunities to connect with former and current players along with Tony and the crew. For more information, go to redmagplus.com Speakers Bureau.
Once you start with a particular drill, say like straight, you're gonna do that the whole time. If you're doing split, you're gonna do that the whole time. So now you're gonna be right here for chest and fly. So you're gonna do Tabata doubles, we'll be doing now. Go ahead and push up, get on the clock. You're gonna do this twice, then you're gonna come here twice and do fly. That's Tabata double. Normally I would have 4 different stations in this area. Where he'll go 2 there, 2 there, 2 here, and 2 there. Right now he's working on his chest.
Oh, so I do that now?
No, yeah. Get right here. So again, he still flies. He's working his chest. Come on, get out. Don't worry about me. No, sit down, lay down.
Oh,
you doing flies, son?
Oh, I forgot what flies were.
Oh, okay.
I could probably do more than
Open
that.
up. That's right now. We're just gonna do that. Go slow. Anytime it's not heavy, go slow, and bring it up slow. Cause we'll make it heavy. Major muscle that we're working is the chest. Everybody like working that chest. All guys, that's all we like to do. I ain't gonna lie, when I was at USC, that's all. I'm doing that damn chest. Right into it. I'm gonna have some weight to it though. Ooh, yeah. This one I have some weight on it. Ooh. Again, this is my favorite machine right here. Chest press. You can do this by yourself because you don't need no spotter with this right here.
Well, Ricky Irvins with another fitness tip to get us all ready for this year. He's talking about chest and biceps. So thanks, Ricky. I'm gonna.
Is Rick Walker's television broke? Is that why he ain't never in on the?
Hey, all I know, Tony, is that Ricky told me to tell you to please come to his gym. But let's go around and talk about the playoffs. Let's start right up on the bat. You got Houston at Kansas City. Tony, I'm starting with you. Does Houston even have a chance?
Houston's gonna win the game. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you ask me where my sources are, I can't tell you that because the mob is after me.
Hey, Rick, come on. You got to help. Is Tony lunching?
No, he's not. It's just, I'm not going against Kansas City. I did it once this season, and that was a mistake. Until somebody beats him, I'll just have to take that loss. I'm not going against him.
But that means you're thinking about it, though, Doc.
I've been thinking about it. Yeah, but I just can't pull the trigger. Yeah.
Hey, Gary, I know you ain't going against Kansas City because guess what? Patrick Mahomes has just been winning in the 6-0 in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll be in the Super Bowl.
I'll
go ahead and jump to the end. Kansas City will be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they'll be in. They already got their tickets from the front office. So
man. They already got their hotels. They already got their hotel set and everything.
Are you going to go with your dad talking about some Houston?
Actually, hold on. I struck a nerve with Mr. Clark earlier talking about the defense, so I'm gonna actually get back in place and go with Mr. Clark and go with the Chiefs. I'm not going against Mr. Mahomes again. I'm sorry, Mr. Clark, for earlier, but I'm gonna go with Mr. Mahomes and him. I'm not betting against that man no more.
Okay, another big game taking place is Baltimore going to Buffalo. The Ravens got Derrick Henry, and they are putting the ball in his hand. Rick, I'm going to start with you. How do you see this game playing out? Because Josh Allen has played well, too. In week number 4, Buffalo Buffalo lost to Baltimore 35-10, but that was way long.
Wait, I want to step in this, Donna, and I'm only going to do it for a second, but why is all of us give our picks and you don't never say nothing?
Because you already know I'm going with Kansas City, and I'm going with.
Well, we want to know. You got to speak it up. You know this.
Hey, Tony, I'm the knowledge. I'm giving y'all a chance to put your knowledge out there.
Y'all gonna let her talk like that to y'all?
I'm Ravens. I'm going with the Crows the whole way.
And Tony, what about you? Ravens?
I'm going Ravens all the way. I think Ravens gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Solomon, come on, let me hear what you got to say.
Big up to my sister Shelby Camphor. I'm going with them Ravens.
Gary.
Well, you know, everybody's wrong but me. I'm going with the Bills.
Oh,
why did you go with the Bills? Why did you go with the Bills?
I mean, it's a hard place to play at, quite honestly.
Yeah, if it's snowing, it's really
a tough place to play.
I still don't think so.
You know,
if you have to throw, they don't.
The Ravens have been up and down too.
Great point, Doc.
I don't know what team's going to show up with the Ravens.
And you know what though? The other thing, G, is that's a running game, and they got a running team, and both of the teams have a running team, but it's no running team like that. If they ever just utilize that team down there with them two boys, nobody gonna touch them.
Well, let's quickly throw Philadelphia in here. Philadelphia doesn't know who they're going to play between the Rams or the Vikings. But talk about Philadelphia, of how you see them. I'm going to start with you, Tony, right quick. We've got about 1:30. Want to get everybody in.
I'm going against them because I got to beat you. I got to pick up 2 this week. So
don't do it because of that, because you ain't got a chance to catch up with me, Tony.
I know. She'd have pistoled me out of here. I'm gonna write my congressman.
When people lose, they call you out. So because they don't want to take that defeat. But Rick, what do you think about the Eagles?
I'm concerned they're the best talent-wise to me playing the game, but the wide receiver quarterback is a disconnect.
Yep.
And I just think eventually they're not going to go the distance.
Solomon.
Something's up in that locker room.
Ray, y'all got to pick it up. We're running out.
I got them getting past either the Rams or the Vikings, but then when it comes time for us, just like in Rocky when he had to see Clubber Lane again, Clubber Lane said, you should have never came back. Well, Rocky did. So I want to see them again at the end.
And that's what I'm saying. You got to always look at them. And one thing we do know about it, one thing that the best team will win, and that's what we got to go for. So we'll be back here next week, see who's talking the most stuff. And as I said, we never say goodbye. Say in a minute.
In the Minute with Tony and Donna. You can catch them weekly on their podcast, and you can also subscribe to their YouTube channel, In the Minute.
Frosted Flakes good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya.
They're great.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
In the NFC East, the Washington Redskins are still in the hunt for the playoffs. But the playoffs are like musical chairs, and no team wants to be left standing when the music stops. Therefore, our points for the day are: protect the passer, rush the passer, and run the ball. Without looking back, we know which team is already out of the playoffs. Bye. They're gone. We'll be back.
One more thing.
Well, I thought we were going out the last time, but we're not, because we got to ask G one more time. What do you think about the Philadelphia team, G? Shoot it out.
Minnesota's going to beat Philadelphia.
Now, I like that, G. My man.
G.
We're going to get a home game.
First day is done. And we're gonna go out of here. And one thing about it, I know I got G on my side. I got 3 more coming up, so Donna, you in trouble. But
Hey, Tony, you gotta catch up.
You keep talking that stuff. You hitchhike over here. I'll pay you way back. We'll be back.
Did you tell the people to look at the pics?
We'll be back for the show. And as we said, we never say goodbye. We say in a minute.